Hello, Wildcats. It's been way too long since I've seen any of you. I have lived a number of years now. I still won't tell you how old I am, but I'm just going to say that I've lived a number of years now, and all my life, I don't think, in fact, I can say with certainty, that I've never lived through any times like this, the times that we're in. So the pandemic, needless to say, is strange times, is weird times, but if I have to guess, it probably has been very challenging times for some of you and for some of your families for a variety of reasons. And so if you're watching this, first of all, I'm so glad you're tuning in, and I'm hoping that this message will find all of you reasonably well. Hopefully a familiar face, a familiar voice can bring a little bit of comfort. If you're watching my Wildcats, this message is definitely for you. But before I jump into any details, I just want to let you know that the rest of the video, there are going to be two different parts. The first is actually a personal apology from me. And then the second part is the YouTube channel through which you're watching the current video from. I want to tell you more about it, what I created it for, and what I'm hoping to do with it. So let me begin by saying I am sorry, because in my personal assessment, I have not done a good job in reaching out to you. One of my biggest dilemmas when the schools shut down and when the whole pandemic started to happen was that because I don't have a specific class at school to my own, technically all 600 plus of you are my students, and you definitely are all my students. And so the idea of reaching out to my students and families is definitely something I wanted to do, but I didn't want to just maybe make a phone call or leave a voicemail. I wanted to be able to actually spend quality time to know how you're doing, how your family is doing, and the idea of doing that for all of my students and families, I just didn't really know where to start. To make things worse, one of my personal habits all through life is to actually either do something thoroughly with my best, or I just don't do it. Now, in most cases, that has worked out pretty well for me, except in this specific situation. Thinking back, I don't think that was a good call at all. What I think I should have done is just to start reaching out to families as best as I could, and then keep doing that until I find a better way to reach out to all of you. That's what I should have done. And because of that, again, I'm sorry. Maybe this is something that you've thought about, or maybe it's something that has not even crossed your mind, but especially if it has, I'm hoping that you will forgive my delay in my effort. But speaking of a better idea to reach out to all of you, not too long ago, this whole YouTube channel kind of came to my mind, and this is kind of what I want to tell you more about. I'm hoping to use it to do two main things for the same purpose. The purpose is just to better reach out to all of you and maybe hopefully engage and interact with you in some ways. The first thing I want to do with it is to regularly upload some book readings online so that students can follow along and maybe be entertained. As you might imagine, it's probably going to be a bit more interesting and applicable to the younger students. Now, if you are in the upper grades and maybe you thought to yourself, I don't know, listening to Dr. Chen reading a children's book sounds pretty fun to me too. And in fact, I'm going to give you a little teaser. Eventually, I might even read some princess books. So if that's fun to you, more power to you. It's going to be there. Enjoy it. But if I have to guess, for most of you who are in the upper grades, something else might be a little better suited for you. Now, to be perfectly honest, I have no idea what that thing is, but I've got an idea that will hopefully get things started. In the description of this video and in the About section, I'm going to leave an email address. What I'm hoping that you will do with it is, first of all, I would just love for you to say hi, because I would love to hear from you. And if you are comfortable I would also like to hear more from you. Maybe there have been comments, perspectives during these strange times that we live in that you want to share with me, or maybe even questions that have come up that you just want to ask about. These things don't have to be serious, although they can be. They can also just be out of your curiosity, maybe even silly or goofy, whatever that might be, as long as they are appropriate. I know that we're not in school, but the things that I would normally expect from all of you, my students, would still be in place. So the three big things that we always talk about at school: be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. I'm confident that you will continue to uphold those values that we hold so dear to at our school. And so just make sure that everything that you put out is appropriate and will be good. But with that, I want to tell you what I ultimately would like to do. So as I hear more and more from all of you, I'm hoping to find questions, comments, perspectives, or maybe even topics that would be applicable and beneficial to most, if not all of you. And maybe I can make more recording messages such as these that will be able to reach out to most, if not all of you. That's what I ultimately would like to do. Now, this is perhaps the most important part of the video. If you decide to write to me for anything, I want to give you my word that it's going to stay private. It's going to stay confidential, kind of like a secret. So anything that you write to me, it's going to stay between you and me. Oops, there is an alarm. Sorry about that. It's going to stay between you and me, and meaning no one else is going to read about it or know about it. There are a few exceptions that I cannot keep things as a secret to myself. Now, if you have ever been to my office, you probably already know what I'm going to say. If you mention anything that has to do with you wanting to hurt someone, or someone hurting you, or maybe you wanting to hurt yourself, these three things I cannot keep it to myself. Again, if it has to do with someone hurting you, you want to hurt someone, or you want to hurt yourself, these things I cannot keep to myself, because your safety and someone else's safety is one of my top priorities. But everything else that you share with me that doesn't have to do with these three things, those are going to be private, confidential, and secret between you and me. Now, if you do address something that I think it's going to be so helpful for all of my students, I'm going to address it maybe in another video like that without mentioning your names, because privacy is so important. Now, of course, as I've already done, I'm kind of putting, my face, my video, all that online, but I'm going to not do that, about you in any way, because again, privacy and online safety is so important. Especially if you have taken an online safety class with me, you know how important that is and how much I value it. So those are some of the nitty-gritty stuff. And I will also like to give you my word that I will try my best to get back to each of you individually, but I may not be able to do it for all the students. And the reason why is, if I hear from a lot of you, and I hope that will be the case, I may just not have all the time in the world to write back to each and every one of you individually, which is why I want to prioritize most of my time and energy into making videos that will be most applicable to all of you, so that more people can, more of you can watch it and hopefully benefit from it. Finally, I'm going to ask for your help. Yes, there is something that I want to do, but I just cannot do on my own. If you're watching this, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have not already done so, please share this channel with all the peers that you have contact with, because that's just something that I don't really have the ability to do. And again, my idea is to reach out to most, if not all of you through this channel as much as possible. and that's going to be dependent on your help. So if you have not shared that with your peers, your friends, please do so. That's about all I have for today, and I cannot wait to hear from all of you because I really do miss all of you a lot. I hope it won't be too long before I get to see all of you in person again. But until then, I want to be able to at least see you in this online kind of virtual way, and of course to hear from you. So until we do this again, please take very good care of yourself, and I hope you have a very good rest of the week. Bye.